one of the negatives about
It really
running
is.
your own business is when life does happen, you still have to be the person who shows up. So hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Shop Podcast.
Week 7.
Week 7.
How have we got 7 weeks into this?
I know it's flown, but it hasn't at the same time. And it's been a week. Again, it always is with us, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like this week has been...
exceptional.
Yeah. Like when we were just setting up, I was like, Elise, I need to lean. Like this episode, I just feel like a bit of a zombie.
I turned up and we set everything up. We've had a few test runs, and then I obviously take everything home to upload to the laptop and things, but I just take the battery and the memory card.
Yeah, we leave the camera and stuff, don't we?
Yeah. And so I was like, Elise, where's the memory card? And I was like, you're joking.
And at this point though, I just feel like I'm not even phasing. If you'd forgotten it, it would have just been like, right, great, okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've been through it with this podcast.
I thought she was going to shout at me, and she was just like,
yeah.
That was it. A sigh. And I was like, no, I know I put it in this. This is what I'm like all the time though, in my head. And I think that things have happened and they haven't. I thought this is going to be at home. It's going to be on that counter where it always is. And I'll have just, I don't know, thought in my head that I've put it away and I haven't.
Yeah.
But anyways, I turned up.
Yeah.
We're here.
All fine. Until we stop and we're like, it's blurry, or the mics have stopped working, it's not recording.
Yeah. No, it's going to happen.
No, yeah,
it's going to be fine.
We're manifesting.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this week we thought we were going to talk about the struggles of how, well, not the struggles of how, but how hard it is to keep showing up.
Yeah, and the pressure. The pressure that you put on yourself for no reason.
Yeah.
But we're both the worst people for doing it.
Yeah.
And this week, especially, like we said, it has been a week, but also not even just podcast related. There's been a lot, hasn't there? And we
bank holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were just a bit we had a complete other plan for this episode.
Yeah, we were supposed to be going to London.
Yeah, this episode should have been brought to you from a cute little in London. And like we said, because things come up and life happens.
Yeah.
It's planned and is
it was all my fault.
You want to be, it wasn't your fault.
It was.
It wasn't.
I was really, really poorly, to the point where I was I had 111 on the phone. I was like, something is not right. Apparently a lot of people have been suffering with it, and it might have just been a bug. It could have been food poisoning. I'm not sure, but there was no way I could have got on a train at all. And then we want it to be good, don't we?
We do. It's one of them that we'd love to have done it.
Yeah.
But we both knew, I think regardless of whether you were poorly, I said to you over the weekend, hadn't I? I had pure anxiety about it. I was like, I don't know they were rushing it. I just feel like my heart was maybe telling me,
no.
Yeah, that we need a bit more time.
Yeah. We are only week 7.
We are, exactly.
We keep saying this. I think this is going to be the same thing with the age thing, isn't it? We're only week 7. We'll be at episode 100 and we'll be like, we're just new.
Yeah, remember a few episodes ago, I said I still do that with the coffee shop.
Yeah.
When people ask me, I'm like, yeah, been going 2.5 years, so I'm still quite new. And I've genuinely probably been here 5 years, and I'm like, I'm still really new to this.
I know. But that's the thing. We wanted it to be good. We wanted to make sure we were at our best. And to be honest, there was just no way I could have possibly done a day like that.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have enjoyed it, and we wanted to be able to enjoy it.
That's it. And then that's when we sort of said, well, why don't we spin it on its head and let's make our episode and just be really real and really honest and raw. And let's, make an episode out of that. And I think not even just this week, we both are really, really bad at putting unbelievable amounts of pressure on ourselves when it comes to our businesses, but also just in our day-to-day lives. And I think we said it was probably something that everybody can relate to, not even just women in business.
No, definitely not. Even just women in business, because even if you've got a career that you're striving for or a hobby that you love, you do put this pressure on yourselves to, if you're poorly, then what life has to stop. You can't.
Yeah.
You physically
I honestly
can't.
say, like, if I'm ever like poorly or anything, I always say, God, it's such an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time to be poorly.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, you
This
even
is
said
your
it.
body telling you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you said it to me in the week when we were talking about like you being poorly and stuff. You were like, you know, lockdown happened and we had to stop. Like we weren't given the choice. Everything had to pause and stop. And I just think, like you said, like that's all gone out the window now.
I know.
We never just paused.
Everyone was like,
stopped.
oh, I'm really going to like make sure that this has made me aware of how much I've been overworking.
Yeah, that self-awareness.
Yeah, and I'm going to take time for myself. And then flash forward to now. I feel like everyone's kind of forgot about it. And it's kind of like, oh, you're back to
And I feel like if anything,
and
I don't know, maybe this is a bit, you might disagree with this, but if anything, I think it's more of a competition in life now to be complete the other way. And if you're not 100 miles an hour and you're not doing this and you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But I just think, actually, like you said, like maybe your body's telling you that
my body was telling me something.
What
honestly,
you were trying to do last week. Like,
oh gosh, it was awful.
But when you got here tonight, and I was literally like, these 2 bank holidays have killed me off. Like, I feel like a walking zombie.
I know, we were shattered, weren't we?
I came into work last Monday, and I'd done, I think it was 6 days in a row I'd done here, and I obviously had the final bank holiday Monday, and then I was off on the Tuesday. And honestly, I was in on the Monday, and the girls actually all said when we were locking up, they were a bit like, you have been a bit delirious today. And honestly,
what have we been like in here?
I felt like I was a bit in like an outer body experience almost. Like, you know, when your eyes just feel a bit heavy and glazy. Like, I suffer with hay fever, but my hay fever was absolutely fine that day, yet my eyes still felt like that. And I said to the girls, the only way I can describe it is I feel like I've got really bad hay fever.
Yeah.
And like, my eyes were just a bit like, I don't know, I just wasn't all there, I don't think.
I think when you're self-employed, it's so hard though if I was poorly at the end of this week, so from Thursday, honestly, I really don't know what I would have done. Yeah. Like, I've had times when I've been poorly before, and I've always, like, to be honest, I've got a very good community around me. So, you know, like other balloon artists and things like that.
Yeah.
I work alongside a lot of balloon artists. Quite a lot, actually. And for times like this, it's good to have that reassurance that I know that I would be able to message one of them.
Yeah, that's
we're like
really
friends.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
But obviously, with it being this short notice, I don't know if they'd be able to pick me, like help me out. Obviously, it's bank holiday.
Yeah.
So I'm just so thankful that it happened.
Like in the midweek.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know what I would have done.
No.
Because it has been a busy one. Your garden and everything was bouncing.
Yeah. I think it's because York's been really sunny.
Yeah.
And it wasn't forecast. And this is honestly probably a really bad women in business comment. Half of me, no, not half, a third of me, like, is praying tomorrow's not sunny. Because I just think I don't know how many more busy days I've got in me without having like just a little rest.
You know what I keep thinking though? It's never sunny, but for some reason, whenever we film these podcasts, the sun is blaring through the window. And
like, I'll have a hoodie on and I'm like, this isn't the vibe. Yeah. Like, this is not the vibe.
Next week, summer dresses.
And then it'll be raining.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, we just thought, let's make our episode all about like the pressures. And I think it's just really, really unrealistic what we put on ourselves. I think when it comes to business and work, but even just also in life, like I know we've mentioned it before on here, and I actually talk to a lot of people about this, like genuinely probably at least once a day, sort of just the pressures of being this age and the things that you put on yourself in life. Like, you know, they say, and I know this is, sorry to
Are you going to say it?
But like they do say in your 20s, it's that weird in-between age where I've literally said this on the podcast before, like some people are having children, some people are getting houses, getting married, some people are moving away, some people are traveling. And I just think you always put pressure on yourself to be doing something extra.
Yeah.
You know, like we obviously have our
like starting a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. But like we have our businesses, but then I don't know, we'll look on Instagram and be like, well, maybe I should be traveling more, or maybe I should be doing this. Maybe I need to be investing in a house. And it's like, slow down. You can't
one
do
step
it
at
all
a time.
Exactly. You like one step at a time. It's not a race. And just because someone on your Instagram is doing that, or a friend you went to school with has done that, brilliant. And that is so good for them. But maybe that's just not where you're meant to be at right this second.
Yeah, and I feel like that it's always like, especially with what we do, what's going to be next and how to keep on top of everything and how to be next in. It's like
Yeah.
everything's a competition when really you just need to enjoy what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you're never going to be on top of every trend or.
No, that's it. You can't keep up with it all.
No.
Like, it's just physically impossible.
Absolutely. We were going to say as well about the pressures of being in your 20s. We are becoming more self-aware.
Yeah, we
aren't
are.
we?
I think, like you said to me, like, our generation actually
Yeah.
is sort of like that crossover generation where we are, like you said, like becoming more self-aware. Also probably just learning to say no a little bit more, and that it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me,
That's something we struggle
like,
with.
go back 10 years, if I was ever invited to anything, it was like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you get
And
pure FOMO.
Probably because of the coffee shop that I've not physically been able to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I've also really learned that it's okay to just be a bit too tired to go. And like we said, like, we've learned through experience that even if you don't, your body's going to tell you that you need to maybe say no to something.
You can't do everything.
Yeah, and you're going to come to a max and like, I can't even remember, I think it was beginning of this week. I was talking to one of my friends at home, and she was saying a bit like, you know, there does come a point where you can't max out anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit like, literally only just after the last bank holiday, I really, really reached a point where I was a bit like, I'm running on like empty a little bit. And I was like, I need just a day to bring myself back. And get all my
self-care.
other jobs done. Yeah.
It's such a big thing with our generation though. And I feel like everyone, like even on TikTok and stuff, when everyone's like, it's just the little things that you don't necessarily think are the big things that are like running a nice hot bath and getting
having
in.
the time to do that.
Cooking your tea and actually sitting down and eating it at the table rather than.
And not heating it up at 10 o'clock at night or whatever.
Yeah. And if you are someone who is self-employed or works a lot, then I'm sure you will relate to this and relate to the pressures of what am I going to do? I'm purely, how am I going to get this covered? How am I going to be able to manage everything basically?
Yeah. Prime example, when I first took over got the coffee shop, my dad said to me once, he was like, you know, I must have been moaning about being tired, probably. It doesn't sound like me. And my dad was literally like, look, Sophie, if you need to be in that coffee shop 7 days a week for the summer, do it. You know, if that's what's going to make that coffee shop successful. And inside, I was thinking, I can't. Like, I'm tired and like, I can't do it. Like, 7 days a week from April to October. Like, I cannot do that. Like, I'm physically burning myself out here.
Yeah.
And I think my dad is probably the most hardworking person I've ever met in my life. And it's just that difference of, like, he's always been like up at this earlier time in the morning, going to bed late, and then like compared to me where I'm like struggle to get out of bed in the morning, like my alarm goes off and I'm like, no, I don't want to go again. Like,
me and one of the girls run about this actually, because she's done quite a few different things. So she started in a job which a lot of us went and explored and did uni and things, and then she went to do a degree after, and then she did a degree and decided that that actually wasn't what she wanted to do and changed to teaching, and now she absolutely loves what she's doing. But for me, if I would say that to like say my parents, for instance, once they're in that, they would be like, no way, that's our job. Like,
exactly,
we've got this job. We've put all this work into this. We've got this degree. How can we then go and change that to something else? When have you give it a proper go? Have you?
Yeah, that's so true. Have you given it a go?
Yeah, but if you, whereas our generation are a bit more like, I don't like it, so why can't I'm only here once? Can I? I'll find something better to do.
Yeah, like we're in like the era of like mature students.
Yeah,
you know, where it's okay to go back to uni a little bit later in life, or go to uni for the first time a little bit later in life. But you don't have to go when you're 18.
Yeah, and I even think, even if you are someone who's say 50 and you're in a job that you hate, why, if you're in like the situation where you can do it, why would you not take that chance to make yourself happier? Does that make sense? Obviously, I know not everyone will be in a position where they could 100%. Do it. But
No, I think
I
that's
just
so
think
true.
you should just, like, we're more willing to take more chances.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I agree.
then at the same time, you have to think, I need that balance of,
Yeah.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, 100%.
So another thing is you can't control what happens in life. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things out of our control. If you're in work or whatever and you have to be called out, obviously
Mhm.
we don't have kids or anything yet. But I always think there's so many people who I know who do what I do, and they've got children and
Yeah.
things, and I'm like,
And
how?
like, things just crop up.
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
you can't be helped. They can't
Yeah.
be helped.
I'm like, how do you do this and then look after like little people? And
Yeah, I know.
it absolutely like blows my mind, because I just think how amazing.
Or even like, it's obviously completely different. Like you said, like we don't have children, so we can't even really
Yeah.
imagine that. But obviously here, like I have a team,
Yeah.
and like people can just ring in sick on
Yeah.
the morning, you know, like on bank holiday, and then it's a bit like you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't afford to just close, so you don't have a choice other than to just keep going.
Keep showing
And
up.
I think, yeah, exactly that. I was just going to say, like, you know, like the sort of the topic of this episode is that just, and it's hard, but it is just that keep showing up. So it doesn't matter. Like the customers coming in, they don't need to know that I've had a nightmare of a morning.
Yeah.
All these things have happened. We're a member of staff down, you know, all of these things. I just need to have that door open, and the service just needs to be good.
Yes.
And the things we're turning out need to be good.
Yeah.
And really that's, and I know it's so easy said than done. Like it really is. If you asked me that on the lunchtime of bank holiday when I'm a member of staff down and I've had this awful morning, I wouldn't say the same thing. But I know in my heart that I just have to keep going. And these hard days don't last forever.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say a story about something that happened to me. Was I was going out to an event and I got a call to say like that my granddad was going to pass away.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, like goodness, like what do I do? There was only
Yeah.
me. And obviously it was this person's event. Like I've never cancelled ever. But I was like,
What do I do?
what do I do?
Mm.
I'm
It's awful. Like
yeah.
such a like awful situation.
I was like, I'm gonna have to. Like how else am I gonna be able to, like, surely they would understand.
Yeah.
Luckily I managed to get someone who was able to do it for me. But in that instance, you have to get a bit of like humanity into you to be
Yeah.
like, if someone came to me and said, oh, we haven't been able to do this setup for you today because of this reason,
Yeah, I can really
you
sorry.
would
like
so understand.
yeah, you would.
But then at the same time, some people kind of might think, is she making it up? Like,
Mhm.
what kind of business is it, kind
Yeah.
of thing, to
Mhm.
get that vibe from. But in this instance, I did manage to get someone to cover for me. But
yeah.
you still have to think, while something so
Mhm.
traumatic is going on, about
You have to
work.
sort of think of
Yeah.
every avenue sort
Yeah.
of thing and every outcome.
And it's like, if you had a normal job, you would just really be able to drop everything and be
Mhm.
like, right, I'm going, and that you wouldn't have to think
Yeah.
about anything else. But still, even in that moment, I still had to be thinking about work, and that was when I found it a bit hard to be like, wow, you really do have to just keep
Yeah.
going. There's no ifs and buts
Yeah.
about it, because
like
it's your reputation.
As sort of abrupt as it sounds, like
Yeah.
life goes
You're
on,
like,
and I
yeah,
think
you have to just
like as much as sometimes you wish the world would just stop for
Yeah.
a second and you could like gather yourself together, it doesn't work like that.
And then that is a bit of the shock of life does just go on, and however much you just want
Mm.
it to stop, and to be like, why am I even thinking about this in this
Yeah.
moment? Yeah, it's kind of one of the negatives about
It really
running
is.
your own business, is when life does happen, you still have to be the person who shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as well, like it's really hard to balance that and to
Yeah.
sort of learn to do that. Like I still don't think now that I've learned to just keep showing up. Like and sometimes I think, God, I like show it too much maybe. Like if I'm having a bad day, like personally, and then I come into work and I'm just maybe in a bit of a mood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, like anything can be happening behind the scenes, but you know, like I guess horrible as it is, like with your granddad and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you didn't have a choice. Like it has to keep going, and like the same here for me. Like that door still has to open. I have staff that rely on me.
Yeah.
As much as I rely on them 100%. But, you know, and I think it's really hard to sort of be like, just to balance it all and not let the pressures get the better of you. And there has honestly been so many days where I feel like I'm drowning in the pressure. And I just think, I don't know what it is. Something just makes me think, you know, I will go through it like maybe for 2 or 3 days and I'll be really, really overwhelmed. And I'm like, something will hit me, say maybe on like day 3. And I'm like, Sophie, just give yourself a break. Like nobody else is putting this pressure on you other than you. So just literally just be like, chill with it. Like it's gonna be fine.
But then I just find it so rewarding.
You can't, like
it's so rewarding after everything that you think, I can't believe I felt like this. And I have got on the other side.
And funnily enough, you always get the other side.
You always get the other side.
And I think it's like, you know, this to say a quote again. But you know, they say like, when you're in the middle of a maze, you can't see the way out, even though there's numerous ways out. But when you take yourself out of the maze, you can see all of these different ways out. And that like is such a good quote. And I think, it really resonates with like business.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And I think it's so true. Like I was saying, like I had a really, really overwhelming week last week. And one day made all the difference. I just needed that one day to reset, recharge, be productive, get all my other jobs done.
I think even writing it down.
Yeah.
Even writing it down. If your head's like mine often is. Obviously this week has been exceptional because I have like a routine now. So on Monday I'll do my collections and like get everything cleaned, stored away, back to normal. Then Tuesday I'd have the day off. So Tuesday I'll do invoices, messages, but I will try and do as little as possible. And then Wednesday, I start planning for the
back to it
weekend again. But obviously, it was the bank holiday that put you back because you feel like you've lost a day almost. Then I was poorly, so I was like, I couldn't even lift my head. I couldn't answer anyone. It was chaos. And then obviously, a couple of days went by, and I had to play catch up with all my stock ordering, checking things, cleaning things, and then this weekend felt like it's just been one mad rush, and I'm thinking, is this being done at the best standard? Has everything went
and how,
okay?
Like, without even realising you're back to bank holiday Monday again, like it's literally crazy,
but luckily, as I say, everything has gone more than fine. Everyone's been happy with what they've got. I've had some really good feedback, and I just think, like,
all that pressure,
all that pressure and stress. I swear,
you were just poorly. So, you know, sometimes you just have to take the days. Like, it wasn't like you were off having a jolly. You were genuinely just not very well. Like,
I know, literally. Honestly, being self-employed and running your own business, it's going to knock at least 10 years off our lives.
Oh, my God. Honest to God, the amount of times this week I've been like, these eye bags, like, they're not even just bags anymore. Like, you know where you get, like, the lines in your bags? I was like, is this here forever?
I'll be hanging the washing off my bags.
I was like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, looking in the mirror, I was like, Sophie, you look so tired.
Do you know what I'm thinking as well? Like, when I go to the shop and things, and I'm like, well, I get ID'd or whatever. And I'm like, girl, you are aged. You have no problem.
You are old right now.
Yeah,
no, I know.
But honestly, I think that's what it's done to us, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
And I know, like, this, I feel like this episode is quite
a morning one.
Yeah. Well, you can just tell we've obviously had a bad week.
Yeah.
But no, it is. I just think it's really overwhelming, and it's really easy to let the pressure
we are trying to
be
as open and honest. And hopefully you can see week by week how each week, one week we might come in, we'll be uplifted and
these
happy and positive, and but sometimes it's just a shit week.
It is. And this week with the podcast, and with, like, obviously Elise not being well,
and we had our hopes on going to London.
I feel like we've had obstacles this week that have, like, knocked us a bit. And like you said, like, these weeks happen, and that's fine. Next week might be amazing, and we might be back, and, like, guys, it has been a good week.
Yeah, we were so excited though, weren't we? But when it does come, it'll be worth it. Like, maybe something, the burnt toast theory, what we mentioned last week. Maybe it's the burnt toast theory.
There's a reason, and that's it, exactly. And to be honest, like, I think I even said to you, like, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, like, the beginning of this week, I was very much a walking zombie. And I think actually I didn't realise how much I actually needed to, like, reset a little bit and catch up on like just like the normal, like doing the accounts and stuff like that. Like I'd totally fallen
It
off with
clears your
everything.
mind, doesn't it?
And I sort of caught myself really, really up with everything, all my orders, all my bills, everything. And obviously, if we'd have gone to London in the middle of all that, I'd have still been further behind. And I think, like you, not that I'd have ended up poorly, but I was totally burning the candle at both ends.
This is it. We're like,
my body was telling me to sort of like just chill a bit.
we're literally like Sophie and Elise takes over the world. We have one idea and we have to do it that second. We can't. We just them type of people, aren't we? Like we need to make it happen there and then.
Yeah. So no wonder we struggle with pressure.
No wonder we struggle with pressure, because we're like, literally, we've had this idea. Next week, let's go to London. We're doing it. Yeah, it's happening.
Literally the night before, we're meant to be going on Wednesday, and literally on Tuesday we're like, well, should we be booking our train?
I was literally in bed like, help me.
I'm on my deathbed.
Yeah. I mean, we were still thinking that we were going to go, but it just couldn't. And
No.
I was this close to really try. Come on, can you do it?
Could have been me holding you up on the Grand Central. Like,
she's fine, everyone. Everyone's like, does she need to get off this train? No, she's
trying
fine.
to get your drunk friend into the bar. And you're getting Elise into King's Cross.
Yeah, it's just me. I can't get out the bathroom. But yeah, it's all about showing up, and that's what we're trying to say. You have to keep showing up, and if anyone else feels this, and hopefully you do.
Yeah, and let us
know.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Like, no one's out there alone struggling with it, and it's so overwhelming. And like we keep saying, like, it's so easy to let it get the better of you.
Yeah.
And like, I'm slowly learning, and obviously you, with things that happened like last week,
I'm forced to learn.
You can't let it get the better of you, because it's going to happen. Life happens, and you do have to just keep showing up, as cliche as it sounds.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way to get through it, really.
Yeah.
And that's what we're learning, isn't it?
Keep showing up. So, business confessions. Do you want to take this one away?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, this week...
Just put you on your toes.
This was quite a funny one, actually. I quite like this one. Right, so this says... When I was working from home, I used to enter loads of radio competitions. This one day, I had entered Capital Give Me the Cash. I kept my phone on me all day, just in case they were going to ring me. Anyway, at work, I feel like I know what's coming. Anyway, at work, we usually use Microsoft Teams, and my manager would call me on there. During the afternoon, I had an unknown number calling my mobile. So, of course, I had to answer and shout, Capital, give me the cash. Only to hear the voice at the end of the line was actually my manager wanting to talk about something work-related. Lesson learnt, I never won anyways. There we go.
I feel like everyone must have a story where they've done something like that.
And honestly, the working from home days, I miss those days. Like, I used to do like an exercise class in the middle of the day, like obviously on a lunch break.
They'll be ringing you. They'll be like, we want our money back from the time you've wasted.
And used to work for us. No, like obviously when I technically was supposed to be having my lunch.
Yeah.
But I would like have these like YouTube fitness exercise things on, and it was lovely. Like, I would sit there with my hair mask in and like my joggers. I would actually do work, to be fair, but it was just totally that like
chill.
Yeah, it was a nice
I
vibe.
never got to experience work from home.
I loved it. I also know a lot of people that didn't like it and didn't enjoy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were just like, we like that sort of routine of getting up and going into the office,
because a lot of places realise that they don't really need offices, do they?
Yeah, that's very true. Like in London and stuff.
they can like scrap that expense kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you think if you're renting an office in London, like...
I know, but for a lot of people, being in on you, if you live on your own, and then your escape is going to work, and then you're kind of just like trapped in your own mind.
Do you remember? I remember during lockdown, you would see a lot of things people would share, and they were like, they live in like a 1-bed flat somewhere, and literally like where they eat their tea, they were working, and then literally, no, not even that, like, I don't know, like say they have a 1-bedroom, and then they're like a kitchen living area, and it was like all day, every day, they were just spending time in their kitchen area, like they weren't doing like or leaving,
and the same 4 walls can become a very isolating place.
Exactly.
Can't they? So I can understand that completely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I think it was a novelty for me. And
but I suppose you have got a big family, haven't you? So you would have people who you could speak to.
There was a lot going on at home. Like,
you've been baking cakes.
all the people like working from home with me and stuff like that. So we'd like set it up around the kitchen table and it was nice.
I can just remember well, for me, it was when I first started using TikTok, and when you look back and listen to it, it's like, is it nostalgia?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll see you at the movies. And then people running around just go.
Honestly, it was like a different time, isn't it? Like, sometimes you just think, where were our heads at?
When I think back to lockdown, I don't know if anyone else thinks this. It's like a weird dream.
Honestly, you can't believe it happened.
Did that
really.
actually happen?
Like, we literally weren't allowed to
I
leave.
feel like it's like one of those books when they start writing it and it's like, and then they woke up.
Yeah. At the end of the story.
Yeah, and then they woke up.
The end.
Yeah, only we didn't, and life just went back to normal.
Yeah, but it was just how crazy. Like one day we just woke up and then we were like, right, we're allowed to leave again. Like, I don't understand.
I didn't see my boyfriend for like 14 weeks. And you're just like,
honestly,
what?
wild times, wasn't it?
It was absolutely crazy.
It was.
And then it was just like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah, that's it then. Crack on. Go back to
It's like that meme. Oh, was that it then? Yeah, crack on.
Honestly.
Get back to it.
But no, I also I'm a Capital listener. Like, I love
I
listening to
love Capital.
So like, there's been many times that I've like been tempted to enter, but then I think I don't know that I would dare. Like every call be like, Capital, give me the cash.
No, I would be one of those people. Oh, it's gone to 4 rings. Unfortunately, it's not your week this week. And then I'd be sat there like this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't dare answer the phone.
I'd love to have known what the manager said.
Yeah.
You know.
It depends, doesn't it, if they're a cool mom, I remember.
Yeah. Like, sure, there's nothing wrong with having like the radio on in the background, is there, when you're working? So he kind of really got in trouble for it.
It's not the most professional.
Imagine if it was like a client or something.
I know, like, Capital, give me the cash. You must be thinking, oh God, another one. Or whoever it was might have just been like, if it was you and it was someone you were ringing, you'd just be like, oh God.
Yeah, I would, you're right.
I'd just be like, oh, have we won?
Yeah. Do I get a cut on this?
It's like one of them jokes when you go to the supermarket and someone doesn't scan and they're like, oh, is this for free then? And you're just like, no.
Literally.
I feel like this is in itself, this whole episode, you've seen us a bit delirious because I'm at this point now.
I feel like I'm not even here. Like, I really do.
We've gone from like, and now we're like, Capital, give me the cash.
No, 100%,
it's
that's
so funny.
true.
So true.
We always said we were going to keep it real though.
Yeah, exactly. If you've stuck around for this long, thank you, because it has been a while.
Not every episode will be.
It probably is.
Yeah,
They've all been like this.
It will be.
But we were going to talk a bit more. We were going to have a bit of a break for next week, aren't we?
We are. So it's the first time since
the coffee shop is ending.
Yeah, this is it. We're not friends anymore.
We're quitting. We fell out.
We've had a big argument.
Yeah.
No, actually the first time since January though that we're not going to have like met up. Obviously, we all know we had a few failed attempts at the start,
and we're coming all the way to York every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like an hour and a bit for us every day.
Yeah, it is, and it works
every day.
Obviously, I'm here for work, so it's not as much of a not a problem, but like a big thing for me. Yeah, already I'm here, but obviously for you, like you have to find the time to get here. And it's the first time we've had like a bit of a clash in our schedules this week, haven't we? Where we're like, we're not going to be able to fit it in. But we did say it's the perfect time for people to like catch up. Like I've spoken to a lot of people sort of the last sort of week or so that have been like, oh, I'm like an episode behind, like I need to catch up. So we were like, do you know what? Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world if we aren't around for 1 week.
If you realise that we're not here, let us know, and then we will continue. Otherwise, if not,
if you're like, oh, I'm really missing this podcast,
please let us know. Otherwise, we're quitting.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still need business confessions. Yeah, we are literally only having the 1 week off, aren't we? So we'll be back the following week with a brand new episode.
If you've got anything you want us to speak about, topics you want us to cover, of things we've experienced or something that you maybe want to talk about yourself, then just pop us an email or pop us a message.
Yeah. We always leave our social media and our email in the description boxes on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, it still feels so surreal, doesn't it, when people do message?
Yeah,
we're like,
blows my mind. Do you know what I love when we've put the episode out, and you know, like that night maybe we'll get a few messages and people will be like, this was one of my favourite episodes.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, because sometimes in my head I'll think I really don't like that episode. I feel
Yeah.
like we just chatted pure shit
Yeah.
for half an hour. Probably like today. So I love it when people are actually like, no, I really enjoyed that one.
I love it when people actually like mention something that happened maybe in the middle or something, and I'm like, oh, people actually have
Yeah,
listened.
like people are invested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I love it.
I love it.
I do.
But
So
yeah.
it has been a bit of a mismatched episode.
Yeah, but
But we thought, do you
we're
know
gonna
what?
be back.
We wanted to be real. We wanted to be honest. Like, we could have not even mentioned the London thing or
Yeah.
Lucy and Paulie and the fact that we've literally done this a couple of days before it's due out live.
Yeah.
During bank holiday, like, we're a bit all over, but we needed to keep showing up.
Yeah, and we said this and we're like, we're having a break next week. Keep showing up, but we're not next week.
Yeah, keep showing up, but not us.
Yeah. All of you do it, but we won't be.
We're not going to take our own advice.
Yeah.
No, it is just a pure, next week's just a one-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
We will. So do you
Next
feel
week.
like we've wrapped episode 7?
Yeah. Keep showing up.
Cheers to that.